Warning. This program may contain material of an explicit or graphic nature. Viewer discretion is advised.
Broadcasting undead from the B ward, this is Post-Mortem. I'm Dom.
And I'm JD. And today, class is in session.
That's right. We're taking y'all motherfuckers to school.
Yes, we are, because we're going to give you our top 5 schools in horror movies.
Yeah.
And in addition, we're going to go to the movies once again to see The Corpse of Anna Fritz and talk a little bit about a documentary, which we'll get into. But, how was the live show? It was good. I just answered my own question.
Yeah, it was really fucking good. It was better than I actually expected it to be.
Post-Mortem demonic double feature. We screened The Invocation of My Demon Brother by Kenneth Anger and ReGOREgitated Sacrifice by Lucifer Valentine.
Yeah.
And people showed up.
A room full of people to some shit that they were not expecting.
They were not. And a room full of mostly women.
Yeah.
Probably 3/4 women at our screen.
Yeah, so. Yeah. When we were, like, after we'd set up and, we did our intro and then we went out so our friend Julian could do his talk about anti-racist action. Michelle was out in the hallway with me because we didn't have a backstage area because Cal Poly fucked us over and took away the stage.
Yeah, they moved it 3 times in the course of a day.
Dicks. So, but Michelle was like, there's mostly women in there. Like, this is either going to go really good or really bad.
And it went really good.
Yeah.
We had a thought-provoking discussion about Lucifer Valentine and ReGOREgitated Sacrifice, which we will bring you clips of the live show in this episode after we give you our top 5 schools. So kind of at the end of the episode, where the episode would normally end, we're going to give you that discussion and our live show intro, and you can just kind of get a grasp for the people and the laughter.
My favorite part of the whole night was when ReGOREgitated Sacrifice ended and there was that uncomfortable silence in the entire room. Nobody clapped. Nobody said anything. There was just like... There wasn't even crickets. The crickets were even like, what the fuck?
And I walked up to the front and I said, I told you.
Yep. It was great. But afterwards, as you'll hear, there was a very positive response, a very positive reaction to it. You can't fucking deny that Lucifer Valentine is an artist. You may not like his art. You may think his art is disgusting, but he's an artist.
Indeed. And we apologize for the varying audio quality of the live show once again. We're going to nail this down. It was our second experience, fledgling live audio podcast. So after we do our normal good quality audio episode, we're going to give you the live show at the end. But we hope you guys check it out because if you've seen ReGOREgitated Sacrifice, we're going to have a discussion with you, but it's going to be a one-sided discussion because you weren't there.
That's right. But you might understand a few more things. It goes a little bit more in depth than we have on past episodes talking about it.
Definitely.
I basically did a full fucking analysis of it because I felt it was necessary.
Dom said a bunch of eloquent things, and I just kind of went, yeah. And then I kind of cracked jokes, but everyone was not in the mood for that at that point. They were in a serious mood.
You know what else I thought was kind of cool, though, was like these church people showed up afterwards while we were taking everything down, and they're like, oh, did we miss the movie? And I knew immediately what was going on.
Yeah.
From church people protesting my band's concerts and stuff. They wouldn't actually come for the show. They'd come afterwards and be like, oh, did we miss the concert?
Yeah.
And then it's like, yeah, come in, talk. How's it going? And we had a conversation with them. By the end of the night, they were smiling at us and shaking our hands and,
And then they puked on each other in the parking lot.
They puked in each other's vaginas.
Yeah, so thank you for Cal Poly Students for Quality Education, Antifa, Anti-Racist Action, and everyone who came out. And we hope that you're listening to this show, if you're a new listener, based on that, and future shows to come. So now, it's time for Dom and JD to go to the movies.
Let's go down to the movies with Dom and JD, the Blood Boobies, and Doug Jones. Psychos, monsters, bloody slashes, maniacs, and tits and asses, chainsaws, knives, and facial bashes on Mortem. Let's go down to the movies with Dom and JD for some more Doug Jones.
No, Doug Jones. So before we get into the corpse of Anna Fritz, which is our main at the movies,
Get into the corpse.
Get it? See what I did there? We're going to talk a little bit about a documentary that we watched also that's streaming now on Netflix. About 45 minutes long, not a full length, but it's called Men in Rubber Masks. Or Men in the Rubber Masks.
Something like that.
Something like that.
Men, rubber masks. They go together.
Yeah. And it's not a horror movie, but we did say we were going to talk about anything extreme or disturbing on this.
Or just generally fucking weird.
It's weird. And we're not going to kink shame people. We're not going to go in here and rip these guys a new asshole or anything like that.
It was something that I didn't know existed until this documentary.
Me too. So we'll get into it. The Men in Rubber Masks, or Secrets of the Living Dolls is an alternate title. I like that way better than Men in Rubber Masks. So it's a remarkable behind-the-scenes look at a hidden soap culture. The secreted world of female masking, where men transform themselves into dolls by squeezing into elaborate rubber second skins that they call fem skins.
So it's not even that they're transgender. It's like
not at all.
Their trans existence.
I understand, transgender people. I understand that.
Yeah.
But they want to be dolls. They don't want to be women. They want to be dolls, like Barbies.
Yeah.
And that's the weird part about it to me. So this starts out with this. We're going to play a brief clip here of this guy explaining. This 60-year-old man puts on his fem skin, and he's looking at himself in the mirror and going, "Oh, yeah, look how beautiful." And being interviewed by the documentarian. And this little brief clip I'm about to play, it's only about a minute long or 30 seconds or something, but it'll kind of give you a guideline about what this shit is all about.
What do you see when you look in the mirror?
A very exciting female. If I were to see a regular woman like this, and she would say, "Come on, let's hang out," I'd say, "Okay, let's go hang out." This just blows my hair back. That I can do this. That's me in there. That's one of the things I have to keep telling myself. That's not just a 7-year-old man, that's me inside that female. God.
She's amazing.
And she's all mine.
She's amazing, and she's all mine.
Yeah.
And you hear that heavy breathing?
He was all about it.
He was all about it. So this secret community of men in rubber masks, as they say, the femskins is what they wear, and they cost like $30,000 or something for these ornate rubber mask suits, and the bodies look kind of convincing. There's a scene of this old man swimming in a pool, like with a bikini on.
Yeah.
And it's like underwater and everything.
Yeah, the tits are like squishy and it stays on.
Yeah.
It's gonna be hot as fuck in those things, but
You know what? They put a bunch of baby powder and like this lube stuff inside underneath it.
yeah.
But the thing is, the faces are hideous because they look like a doll. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
they don't look real, you know?
They're not, they're definitely not human.
Eyes that don't move and everything. And it follows a bunch of these guys that have this in different countries, different areas that are into this thing. Some of them are out to their families and their wives and stuff like that. And it's totally out in the open. Others keep it secret. But there is one company that is the lead manufacturer of this. And there's actually conventions where these guys dress up like dolls and go to these conventions. So
they're not furries, they're like skin-ees.
they're femskins.
Femskins, yeah.
The secret life of living dolls. So this one company,
walking, talking, living doll.
there's this company that makes it, the lead manufacturer of these, that it's a family business, complete with like young kids and teenagers and normal people that make this stuff that aren't into it.
Yeah, they're not even femskins, they're just regular people.
But I'll bring you a interesting point about this. The dad is the one who made this up, right? And he's since passed away, and they speak very highly of him, and you know how he was an entrepreneur and all this stuff like that. I think the dad wanted a femme skin all along, and that's why he was making them.
He was a femskin all along, Austin. Oh, son of a bitch.
You know, if you think about it, that's kind of a weird niche thing to start producing. If you weren't into it yourself, how would you know about it or that there was a market for it?
Right.
You know, and get it right and test it and all this stuff like that. He's testing it in the back, you know?
Right.
So, yeah, but he had since passed on, so there's no interviews with the dad. But this is a very unique, I would say it's a disturbing documentary because of parts like that guy going, oh, in the mirror. But it's just kind of interesting.
Yeah. It's disturbing not because it's, like, bad. It's just so unfamiliar.
Yeah.
You watch it, and you're kind of like, what the fuck am I watching? But, like, it's not like this is a bad thing. It's just like, what is this?
And if you're listening to this and you want to put it on a femme skin and you want to prance around in it, more power to you. No judgment here. You know, whatever you want to do, however you get your rocks off. If you want to be a doll, be a doll. Yeah. We encourage you.
That's right.
We at Postmortem are coming out in support of the femme skin.
That's right. We will be the official Femskin podcast from now on. And
yes, we will. Yeah. And before we get into the corpse of Anna Fritz, I just need to check my UPS tracking information real quick.
Actually, there was one part of the documentary that I found really, really interesting, and that was where they took the Femskins out in public in various places.
Yeah.
And watching the public response.
Yeah, and the public response, people were like, wow. You know, and talking to them and stuff like that. They weren't, like, ostracized.
Well, there was that one part where they went out from the hotel bar and the guy tried to start a fight with them.
Yeah.
And the dude who made the femme skin, like, was there with them.
The son who makes the femme skins, like, he had their back. He's like, don't you ever talk shit to them, blah, blah, blah. And he would, like, have their back. It was crazy. It was
great.
So, yeah, it was really good. And then, you know, one of them went through Burger King drive-thru. I don't know if that's legal to drive while wearing a rubber mask like that. But,
yeah, I don't know.
You know, it seems like that would be pretty dangerous.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, they don't really have peripheral vision in those things.
Yeah.
Even the eyes, like, they can see out of them somehow, but the eyes are you know, doll eyes. They're the dead-eyed doll look.
Yeah. And, you know, we're typically a horror movie podcast. We have talked about documentaries and weird shit and stuff like that in the past, but give this one a chance.
Yeah.
It's 45 minutes long. When I started watching it, I watched about 10 minutes, and then I had to pause it and start it over and go get my wife and say, you need to what the fuck? You need to see this, you know? And it left a lasting impression on me. Yeah. So just wanted to talk briefly about it, but now, The Corpse of Anna Fritz. What did you think about this movie?
I liked it.
I liked it a lot.
It wasn't what I expected it to be.
Me neither.
And it was really unique. I've never really seen a movie about this.
Yeah.
I mean, it had some elements of, like, Dead Girl, but even not that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So it's a 2015 Spanish movie directed by Hector Hernandez Vicens. El Cadáver de Anna Fritz, a.k.a. The Corpse of Anna Fritz. So, Anna Fritz is a famous and beautiful actress that has died recently. 3 young men sneak into the morgue to see her naked. Fascinated by their beauty, they decided to become the last people to have sex with her. So, when I first saw the name, The Corpse of Anna Fritz, and we just had The Autopsy of Jane Doe.
Yeah.
And the posters look very similar.
You thought it was like the cheap, like...
I thought it was...
the Asylum Pictures version.
Exactly. I thought it was going to be a cash grab with a similar name, but it actually came out before.
Yeah.
It came out before Autopsy of Jane Doe, so
and
it's not.
Other than the fact that it's limited storytelling and that it involves a corpse, that's really the only...
Exactly. And, you know... I'll go on record as saying most movies that are the blah, blah, blah of and a person's name are fucking so shitty.
The Exorcism of blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, Exorcism of Emily Rose was good.
Yeah.
But then you had all these fucking Molly Hartley.
Yeah, I destroyed that one, yeah.
Horrible shit. So, starts off with a Spanish TMZ talking about Anna Fritz in the background as we get the credits. Morgue attendant tells his 2 buddies that even though the media is keeping the location of her body top secret, the corpse is in his morgue, so they need to come check it out and get a peek at her naked because in their words, why wouldn't they?
Yeah.
So they find her corpse and feel up her boobies and decide it's time to do a bunch of blow. And then hilarity ensues. Not so much hilarity.
No, not hilarity at all.
Besides the obvious necrophilia, there are themes of betrayal, redemption, and what people will do in a fucked up situation when they feel like their ass is up against the wall.
Yeah.
While there's obvious comparisons to the Autopsy of Jane Doe, just in the setting, like you said, limited storytelling and about a corpse, I feel there's more of the movie Dead Girl and maybe some situational thriller like 11-14. You ever see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like that, where it's just like people's reactions to getting in a situation where they feel like there's only one way out of it.
Yeah, and all of their like frailties of their personality sort of come to the forefront.
Yeah. So, what do you got to say about this one?
Well, the dubbing is awful. Or not the dubbing, the subtitling, I mean.
Subtitling is pretty bad.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal with that was, but like they were like slipping in like they were saying she is dead, but it was like she is dioxy something, like some sort of chemistry term. And
yeah. Also, when they were saying like it's time to fuck her, I can't remember what it was. I forgot to write it down.
Yeah.
It was not. It didn't translate. You
Yeah.
know? So yeah, the subtitles were bad, but the movie was good. I mean, the acting was pretty good.
I thought the acting was solid. You know, every character came across the way they needed to. You know, especially of the three friends, you had the one that was actually like kind of righteous and like didn't want to do anything bad. And then you had the one that was kind of the wishy-washy and like easily pushed around. And then you had the like one super douchebag dick friend who was like kind of the antagonist through all of it. And, and pushing them all around. And I thought the direction was also really good on it, in terms of building tension in a scene, especially with not a lot going on, because it wasn't like a gore fest.
No, not at all. Although the gore that it did have was pretty well executed and practical.
And you know I don't want to give too much away because there's a twist early on in the movie that affects the rest of it,
and there's
don't
more
want to give it away.
Yeah.
But there's a crawling escape scene is all I'll try and say about it.
Yeah.
That not much is happening, but it's super fucking intense.
It is,
and also the one like major act of violence, like the beatdown that happens in the movie, was very well done. It was that like sudden, like realistic, just fast fist pounding, like fuck, okay, this is happening.
For sure, yeah. So, while I think it's not as good as some of its influences, I would still say it's definitely worth a watch and not a waste of time and pretty good.
My qualm is how fast they jumped to necrophilia.
It was pretty fast. Yeah. It was like, hey, she's naked.
Yeah.
Let me touch her boobs. And like, hey, have you ever fucked a corpse before? You know that you work here, you know? No. I mean, yes. Once.
Yeah, once.
Oh, really?
And I have pictures.
You know what I think why it escalated? The blow. You know, they're doing a bunch of coke all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And they're all drunk. Yeah. So, like, that was like the plot hole that
cocaine ultimately leads to necrophilia.
Yeah,
Rick James will tell you that.
I think now he will.
It's a hell of a drug.
It is a hell of a drug.
And they kept calling it, what was it? Let's do a rope. Let's do a rope.
Well, we didn't rate Men in Rubber Masks.
Yeah.
I just realized that. But, I mean, when it comes down to it, I think prosthetic vaginas is the way to go.
Yeah.
So.
Realistic prosthetic vaginas.
Realistic prosthetic vaginas. Or 7-year-old men wearing doll skin. I think the prosthetic vaginas is the way to go. So, for A Corpse of Anna Fritz, IMDb gives it 5.8. I think it's better than that. I think it's like 7.1 prosthetic vaginas.
Okay.
What would you say?
I gave it an 8.25 prosthetic
Wow,
vaginas.
okay, so you liked it a little bit more than me?
I thought it was really well made and a very original story, and that really carried it.
How many prosthetic vaginas would you give Men in the Rubber Masks?
I mean, it's the namesake, so probably 10, you know?
I think as a documentary, while there are questions left to be answered, I wish it was full length. 45 minutes did not give me enough, but I'm going to have to get it at a 9.
Yeah, I'll give it a 9 too.
Yeah. Composed of prosthetic vaginas and buttholes, and they have different models where the butthole that is just for show and the butthole that you can actually put stuff in.
Right, put it in. Get all up in that doll man.
So yeah, we'll be back with the top 5 schools in horror after this.
Hi, thanks for listening to the Postmortem Podcast. If you want to support us, go to our website at www.postmortemshow.com and click the Amazon link.
By clicking on the Amazon banner, Amazon will give a small percentage of the purchase price of your item back to the Postmortem Podcast at no additional cost to you. That's right. It doesn't cost you any money. We get money. You want us to keep doing this? You want more Doug Jones talk? You want more dick and fart talk? I don't care. We're going to do it.
Fund our filthy, filthy habits.
Yes, and they are many and they are fast.
And most of them aren't legal.
Yes. Click the banner. Just do it.
Come on, don't be a dick. Give us money.
And we're back!
With the top 5 schools in horror.
We were at Cal Poly this week, so it's fitting.
It is.
Puts it together, yeah. nice little segue into what we'll be doing next.
Tie it up with a nice little bow.
Try to put a graduation cap on it.
Yeah.
Launch it out of a cannon.
Put a graduation cap on top of your fen skin. Yeah, top 5 schools in horror. I'll start us off.
All right.
My number 5, I believe was either from New Zealand or Australia. I'm not really sure because I didn't take any notes.
Right.
The Loved Ones. Did you see The Loved Ones?
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
You're going to go to the prom with me one way or another. So a girl asked this guy to the prom, and she will not take no for an answer. So she has her own prom.
Yeah.
And tortures him.
Very supportive father.
Yes. So yeah, I really liked it. It was a refreshing movie to me.
Yeah, for sure.
I liked it a lot. So check out The Loved Ones if you guys haven't seen that before. So, but I forgot to take down the names of the schools in my movies.
Yeah, so did I.
So I guess we'll just name them ourselves.
Okay.
So I guess the high school in The Loved Ones is the Aussie Oi Oi High School.
Okay. That's a good one to go to.
It's Paquita.
Paquita High School.
Paquita High School.
My number 5 is probably the most obvious on my list for me, and that's The Craft. It was such an important movie to me as a teenager, sort of like in my formative, like getting independently into horror type things.
I'll put Nev Campbell in The Craft after the burns are gone.
Yeah.
Maybe pre-burns gone.
Yeah.
Up there with like Salma Hayek and all those ones, because in that movie she was like a little thicker. She had some big old thick thighs and big old boobies.
Yeah, she looked good.
So
They all did. Even Feruza Balk with
burns
her
on my
crazy face. Like she was still attractive.
I beg to differ.
I'm weird like that though.
You want her toes to curl like that for you?
Yeah, I do.
You guys will be fucking and a house will drop on you?
Yeah. So yeah, the Craft. That one was set in slightly chunkier Nev Campbell titties high school.
Yeah, I like that. High
There should be
school.
a rating system at some point.
I wish I would have went there.
I just want to see their mascot.
My number 4 has alien brain parasites. Night of the Creeps.
Yeah,
I love this fucking movie.
great movie.
I put it off for so long. I didn't see it till probably 5 years ago.
Yeah,
It came out in
it's 'cause
1986.
The title is like Night of the Creeps.
And
Like this is gonna suck.
Yeah, and the poster and everything like that. But it is good.
Yeah.
It is very good.
I think I saw it on USA Up All Night the first time I saw it.
Brain parasite jock guys running around.
Yeah.
It's fucking good. I loved it a lot. And if you guys haven't seen Night of the Creeps, don't put it off like I did. So, Night of the Creeps, sticking with our nipple theme, it's slightly exposed breast university. Because you see like half a nipple at one point of the lead actress.
Right.
It was enough though.
It was, hey, especially in the 90s. Well, for you it was 5 years ago, but
No, it was 86.
yeah.
86, not the 90s.
But I saw it in the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
My number 4 is a movie that I reviewed on this show at one point and give a positive review because I didn't expect it to be a good movie. And that's Smiley. It takes place on a college campus. It's about internet nihilism. Has a fantastic performance by Roger Bart from Hostel as the sinister philosophy professor. It's a lot of twists and turns. Even though it starts out looking like it's going to suck, it hooks you hard. And it's a great movie. And most of it takes place on or beside a college campus. And that college is 4chan Pedo Bear University.
4chan Pedo Bear University, yeah. What did you study there?
Philosophy.
Philosophy?
Yeah.
You study the dark web. Nothing but the dark web.
Philosophy of Yif.
It's Silk Rope University. Hey, you want to order a hooker? Maybe a hitman? Some magic mushrooms? We'll teach you how to do it here.
That's right.
At Silk Rope University. My number 3... My number 3, my 2, and my 1 could all be interchangeable.
Okay.
Because I love them all that much. But my number 3 is Ginger Snaps.
Yeah.
I fucking love Ginger Snaps.
That was
Catherine
one that I
Isabel.
avoided, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I saw it after I saw American Mary.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, Catherine Isabel is so smoking hot in that.
Yeah.
And those girls, you know, her and her sister are just so fucking awesome with the stage deaths. You know, they stage like elaborate deaths just to take a picture of it for their own amusement.
Yeah.
And they're really cool. They're like really counterculture, like little punk rock kind of gothic girls.
Yeah.
When she hits her first period after being bit by a werewolf, she gets a little freaky.
He gets a little wolfy.
Starts growing back hair and such.
Yeah. I grew back hair after my first period, too.
Your first period of college, you were a late bloomer.
That's right.
Yeah, Ginger Snaps is awesome. Sequels? No, not indeed. Yeah, sequels fucking going back in time and shit. It's retarded. But the first Ginger Snaps is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So, good effects. Questionable werewolves, maybe, but good.
Most werewolves are questionable.
Yeah, let's be honest. Yeah, I think American Werewolf in London is maybe the only.
Dog Soldiers pretty close.
Dog Soldiers is pretty cool too. I actually like American Werewolf from Paris too. Believe it or not.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people shit on it, but I think
not
it was
a bad
alright. You know, it's a lot better than most of the modern horror movies that we see. So,
what school did they go to?
Ginger Snaps?
Yeah.
It's PU. No, wait, no, it was high school.
Yeah.
Teddy Roosevelt High School.
Just out of your ass? Is that?
I don't know.
Because that was a very quick response.
Bloody Werewolf Vagina High School. Let's move on.
All right.
I don't like this naming the high schools anymore.
My number 3 is a movie that you can see on Netflix called The Awakening. It's a really atmospheric British ghost story about a professional skeptic who's hired to go to a boys' boarding school and debunk all of the students' claims that it's haunted, but it's haunted. And it's like a really like classy, like very British just ghost movie. And the chick kind of looks on the cover like it's Mila Jovovich, but it doesn't look at all like her in the movie. It's weird. They just kind of made her up to like make her look that way.
Wow.
But it's a good movie, and it's one that I know a lot of people pass over because it looks like almost like a period piece drama or something.
I never watched it. It says Netflix thinks you'll like this half a star.
Yeah.
On mine.
Yeah,
so I never watched it.
I really liked it.
You like ghosts a lot, though.
Yeah,
You really do like ghosts.
I like ghost movies.
I like some.
Yeah.
I like A Stir of Echoes.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Yeah.
So the school that she went to was the not Mila Jovovich hoity-toity British school for boys.
I like it. It's much better than Teddy Roosevelt High School.
I don't know, the quickness that you came up with that was impressive.
I just didn't know what to say. We didn't think this one out, folks. We've been burning the candle at both ends this week.
Oh, fuck, man, I'm so tired.
This might not be the most energetic and funny episode that we like our usual ones.
Yeah.
But we already had the live show. We blew our wad.
Yeah.
And puked on each other.
Yeah. Puked on a bunch of people. Then they puked back on us. Then Hank Skinny showed up and puked on everyone.
Hank Skinny is actually a teacher at Cal Poly. That's how we were able to screen the film.
He teaches Emesis 101.
My number 2, I'd be surprised if it wasn't your number 1 or your number 2. If not, it's at least on your honorable mentions. But Battle Royale.
Actually, I intentionally left that one off.
Yeah. Because I thought you'd have it. That's why. Yeah, Battle Royale is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Fuck the Hunger Games.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Battle Royale, a bunch of fucking kids on an island, each with a backpack and a weapon. You have
Some
to
people
kill
get
each
shitty
other.
weapons.
Only one can live. One guy gets a pan.
Yeah.
But everyone that gets a shitty weapon kind of uses it, except for like a couple shitty characters.
Yeah.
Everyone pretty much uses it in their benefit, you know,
Right.
like with the compass and that kind of shit. But then you got the one guy that he's kind of like a Final Fantasy villain.
Yeah.
The one with the blonde hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Battle Royale is awesome. Even number 2 is good.
Yeah.
Why don't they have more Battle Royales?
Yeah, it was a manga, and there was a lot more to the manga than there was in the movie, so I'm surprised that they didn't make more.
I bet that they don't make more of them, or they're not currently making more of them because of the Hunger Games. Like that, they would have thought
Probably.
that.
Yeah.
People would think it's a ripoff and not watch it because of that. Or
I actually saw, like, online people saying, like, I saw this thing called Battle Royale that's a total ripoff of the Hunger Games.
It
Like,
makes me sick.
yeah, fuck you.
It makes me sick.
The only ripoff of Battle Royale that I will tolerate is The Condemned, because I fucking love Vinnie Jones.
Yeah.
God damn it, you stupid son of a bitch.
Stone Cold Hank Skinny stars in the Condemned.
Dun-dun-dun-dun. Instead of the breaking glass, it's just... My number 2 is early zombie comedy from right when that whole thing started to happen with Shaun of the Dead and all that.
Yeah.
So it was before the genre played itself out. It's called Dance of the Dead. It's about a slacker who has to battle through a zombie outbreak on prom night to save his ex-girlfriend that he's still in love with. He defeats zombies with the power of rock and roll, and that's awesome. Like, they play their music so loud that, like, scrambles the zombies' sensory perception so that they can, like, get through.
Really?
Yeah.
This is good?
Yeah.
I have always avoided it. I've never seen it.
I was mad when it came out because in 2003-ish, I wrote a tabletop role-playing game called Slasherama that was set in a world of, like, 80 slashers. And the very first module I wrote for it was called Zombies Ate My Prom Date. And it was the exact same story as this, where, like, even, like, the main characters were a punk band. And, like, they had to figure out that the zombies didn't really see or hear. They just had this weird, like almost sonar. And when they moaned, they were, like, bouncing the sounds off. And so if the band played their music really, really loud, it would scramble the zombies' perception, and they could get through them. And that's what this movie was about. And I was so pissed when it came out, and then I watched it, and I was like, oh, well, it's a good movie. Fuck. All right, I'm not mad anymore. So this movie takes place at Get the Fuck Out of My Brain High School.
Dom's dreams of creating his own D&D just died with this movie. Get the fuck out of my brain high school?
Yeah.
All right, I'll take it. My number one. It's a movie I showed you. Excision.
Yeah. I didn't even think of that. That's a great movie.
That's the best school movie of all time to me. It is number one. I said that my number 1, 2, and 3 are interchangeable, but Excision just came out of fucking nowhere.
Yeah.
Paulina, I believe her name was.
Yeah.
She fucking killed it.
Yeah.
She's such a creepy little fucker.
Yeah, creepy and awkward and just... Yeah.
If you guys haven't seen Excision, this girl's weird.
Yeah.
So she tells this guy, I want you to take my virginity.
Yeah. She talks like Stan's sister on South Park.
yeah, she is. She's like a living Stan's sister, yeah. And she has herpes from her dad, giving her mouth-to-mouth at the pool when she almost died. And her dad is the guy that's a crossover from Hostel 2. The guy...
Oh, the same guy,
Same guy. What was he in yours?
Yeah, he was in... Smiley, yeah.
Yeah, he's a good actor. And she fucking killed it. And that movie is really fucking funny.
And the ending
really
is disturbing as fuck.
Yeah, it gets dark and brutal, but it's really fucking funny. I enjoy it.
It's like an indie comedy until everything goes wrong.
Yeah.
And then you're like, what the fuck am I watching?
Yeah.
When you first showed it to me, I was like, all right, where's the horror in this? Oh, there it is. My number one is Class of Nukem High. It's Stroma's take on the teen flick, full of classic evil punks, insane teachers, and of course, the teen pregnancy that produces a mutant baby. This is one of Stroma's movies that I would actually call good. Not all of their movies are good, but
I prefer the sequel. Class of Nukem High Part 2, Subhumanoid Meltdown.
Yeah, that one's good too. Yeah.
To me, it's far and away better than number one. And a lot of boobies. And that I still have my VHS tape of that I had since I was a kid.
Nice. Yeah, after Part 2, there were more sequels, and none of them were good. But the original, and I'll say Part 2 actually, those two movies just can't be touched.
And the fat guy in number 2, R.I.P.
Yeah,
Jacob Fleischman, I think that's his name.
Yeah.
If I'm butchering it, I apologize. But he gets eaten by an escalator, and Lemmy makes fun of him.
That's right.
So awesome. Class of Nukem High is a good one. Number 2 is on my honorable mentions, but I have quite a laundry list of honorable mentions.
Okay.
Starting off with a movie that I think is highly underrated and that got lumped into the teen screams of the 90s, like I Know What You Did Last Summer and Urban Legend. The Faculty.
Straight up, great movie.
It's Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and they even reference Invasion of the Body Snatchers in the movie, and it's just so well executed. It still holds up. It holds up a lot better than a lot of those 90s horror movies.
Yeah, that one and Scream, I think, are probably the only ones.
Scream 1 actually is good. I mean, I started resenting it, after the fact because of all the things that it spawned.
Yeah.
But if you rewatch Scream 1, it still holds up.
Yeah, especially now that some of that resentment has had time to boil down.
Yeah. Prom Night.
Yeah.
Night of the Demons 2, Booby Hands.
Booby Hands.
Booby Hands, gonna rip you with acid. Carrie, of course. Like you said, Scream. A little movie that a lot of people don't know about called Cherry Falls. You ever see this Cherry Falls?
When I was doing research, I saw it on lists. I've never heard of it before.
It's a town where a killer is killing virgins, so everyone's having orgies, they're organizing high school orgies and shit.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good. It's I think it was like a made for USA or something though.
Huh.
So it's not like really sexually explicit, but
Right.
the idea behind it is pretty
Right.
funny. So, Idle Hands, I think, is another one that got lumped in that teen scream category. That is actually really good.
Yeah, we've
and
talked
one
a bit
of
about that.
one of the best nude scenes of all time.
Yeah, for real.
And really funny.
Yeah.
So,
Great horror comedy.
Class of Nukem High Part 2. The Craft, I knew you'd have that on your list. So, Disturbing Behavior, that one's all right.
It was okay.
It's that's like when it starts to get to what we're hating about.
Katie Holmes before she was spoiled by Tom Cruise.
Yeah. And before The Gift, when she gave us The Gift.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Gift.
The Substitute. He kills kids.
Yeah,
He's
does.
a teacher. One that I would put on the list that is not a horror movie is 187 with Samuel L. Jackson.
I love that
fucking
movie.
love that
Yeah, it's a
movie.
great movie.
The Convent is about like they're at it. It's kind of like Night of the Demons 1 to where I didn't put it on the list because it's fucking funny. The Convent's fucking awesome, but not much of it is at the school. It does involve fraternities a lot though. So. Final Destination has it involves a school trip to Paris, and there's high school stuff. Halloween, of course.
Right.
Nightmare on Elm Street, of
course.
course. Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation involves prom.
It does.
And mechanical legs.
Yeah. And that's important with school.
And Matthew McConaughey. Oh! and side nipple ring guy.
Flank nipples.
And my last honorable mention that has been banned from this here show because I talk about it too much, but it's been a while.
It goes without saying.
It involves a medical school. The greatest movie in cinema history. Reanimator.
It's an educational film.
It is. Mr. West, I suggest you get yourself a pen.
All right, my honorable mentions. This would have actually been on my list, but it's not a movie, it's a TV show. Todd versus the Book of Pure Evil.
I've never seen it.
It's funny.
It's good?
Yeah, it's Evil Dead style. It's like Ash versus Evil Dead style comedy. It's from Canada, and it's basically if you took like Jay and Silent Bob and put them in a horror situation where they have to fight demons.
Sweet.
And good.
So
good
it's
show.
like a lot of those buddy horror comedy,
Yeah.
demon zombie things. It's just, you know what? It's just too much.
But it has enough.
Tucker and Dale and everything.
Yeah.
You know, it's just everything is the same now.
It came out before all of that.
Yeah.
And it has enough in it to make it's very close to Deathgasm actually.
Really?
In
Okay.
terms of
I'll have
comedy.
I'll have to check it out.
It's worth watching.
What was that fucking movie I just watched, or that TV show? It's like Ash vs. Evil Dead. It's on IFC. Stand Against Evil. I got through about like 4 episodes. Like first couple ones, I was like, all right, and then afterwards, it's just like I can't just watch it anymore.
Right.
It's just there's too much of the same.
Yeah.
There's too much of the same going on. So.
Yeah. Suicide Club. Have you seen that? It's
Yeah,
a Japanese movie.
Yeah, or they go kill each other, right?
Yeah, they had like 40-something girls all jump in front of a bus all at once.
Yeah.
And it causes this like, epidemic of suicide at their high school.
Yeah, I remember watching it, but I don't remember much about it.
It's a pretty good movie. A little independent movie called Duck, the Carbine High Massacre. It was made like 6 months after the Columbine High Massacre happened. And someone tried to basically make a serious independent movie about it, and then they marketed it as a comedy. And I'm giving it mention on here because of the ridiculousness of it.
Yeah.
The movie itself was It was in the time before Netflix. So like the fact that something like that would get made and distributed somewhere where you can find it. I think I rented it at Tower Records when I worked there. It says that it actually still has a little bit of merit to it.
Yeah. It's on Amazon Prime.
Right. But they kind of like tried to tell a story from the perspective of the people who shot up the school, not to make you sympathize with them, but sort of just like what drives people to that. And then they inexplicably called it Duck, and tried to market something funny. And my last one on my honorable mention is not a horror movie. It's more of a martial arts movie, but it's so fucking weird. It's a Korean movie called Volcano High.
Volcano High? Never heard of it.
It's like this. So there's this kid who his father owned a fish market, and he fell into a tank full of electric eels during a lightning storm, and it got struck, and he developed these like lightning powers from it. But he's got anger issues, and every school that he's been to, he keeps getting in fights and like basically killing people. So they send him to like the high school for the worst of the worst called Volcano High, and all of the gangs are like these weird, like 1980s martial arts punk gangs. But it was made in the early 2000s. And the thing about it that makes it extra super cool from my perspective isn't just like, it's like got these weird overblown anime style, like, but it's all live action.
Yeah.
Anime style fights and like weird fucking shit happening all the way through. But the American version of it, they brought in like Snoop Dogg, Method Man, Andre 3000, like all of these rappers to do all of the voices. So like the Zen master of the movie is the janitor at the school, but he's got Snoop Dogg's voice.
That's fucking weird.
Yeah, it's a really fucking weird movie. And even if you watch it without the dubbing, it's still, like, you just watch the subtitle version, it's still a weird movie. But when you hear, like, if you're a fan of hip-hop, like, you hear all these rappers' voices that you're familiar with, but, like, they're talking, like, martial arts, you know, fucking dub voices. It's really good.
Maybe I'll check that out.
I
That
thought
sounds pretty
I'd
funny.
give that props.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's schools. I feel like I just graduated to my bed because I'm tired.
Yeah, graduated.
I've done a lot of work on this
to
shit.
a burrito.
Yeah. Time for some masturbation and a burrito.
At the same time.
You masturbate into the burrito.
With
for
the
extra
burrito.
protein. Yeah, so you guys can hear it in our voices. We're a little dragging ass this episode, but we'll be back next week with an awesome topic that will be similar to our monster mashups. We're going to do... You heard of the old school wrestling games where you could create a wrestler?
Caw.
We're going to create a horror movie villain. Create a monster.
Create a monster, yeah.
And give it a backstory. What does he look like? What's his weapon?
What's his motivation?
Why does he kill? And that should be pretty fun.
How big is his dick? Does he kill with it?
I don't know about that. I might not get that deep, but
I'm going there.
You're going there. You're measuring all of them.
Every single one of them.
All right. Well, we are going to still, at the end of this episode, get into some...
soon.
Which is very soon. Like, within maybe, 1 second. Bye. No. Yeah, we're going to get into some ReGOREgitated sacrifice talk. Some clips from our live show. But before that, I'm going to put on my fem skin. Yeah. Microwave my burrito.
As H.P. Lovecraft said, as he pulled the rubber mask over his face, if it smells like fish,
throw the fucker back.
Choice of the girls and boys making all the noise 'cause they found new toys. When we can salute you and flying the flag, if that don't suit you, that's a drag. Schools out for summer. Schools out forever. Schools been blown to pieces.
Sunday!
it's SenCal Pro!
Returning to the graduate.
February 12th, 2017.
990 Industrial Way, San Luis Obispo, California.
There's going to be headlocks.
Headlocks. There's going to be bum locks. I'm going to do the first ever bum lock.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Are you going to choke someone's ass out?
I already did the thumb up the ass. I've already tried to fuck a man with a barbed wire bat.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is wrestling.
Yeah. But what we're going to bring you is every title will be defended.
Tag team titles, 5 cities titles, heavyweight title,
and a special pumpkin patch death match for the 5 series title. This is going to be a good fucking show. We might joke, but this is serious business.
Absolutely.
Ladies and gentlemen,
we've got some big announcements coming up.
Yes, we do.
Be there for SenCal Pro.
Pro.
Welcome to the show. As we say on our show, broadcasting undead from Cal Poly, this is Post-Mortem. I'm Dom.
And I'm JD. And today, we're going to bring you Invocation of My Demon Brother and Regorgitated Sacrifice. On the podcast, the top 5 schools, since we are at Cal Poly. Top 5 schools in order.
For those of you who have never heard of us, which is probably everyone but 2 of you, we host the Post-Mortem Show. We've been doing it for about a year. It's a podcast about all things morbid, horrific, and fucked up, and a lot of dick jokes.
That's not 75%.
Yeah, that's where we come from, in all reality. A little bit about ourselves. You want to start?
Yeah. My name is Shane, and I'm in a band called Grateful Man, and I'm a professional wrestler that does death matches like barbed wire and fire and glass. And I've been all around the country doing that. Yeah, you too?
Yeah,
wow.
What's it called? Backyard wrestling?
No.
I just play with juggalos.
Oh, nice. But yeah, we've been doing this for about a year, and this is going to be our 51st episode. So.
My name's Dom. I was a wrestler until I broke my neck. I did not do death matches. Now I'm a wrestling manager and also a musician. My project is called Mechanical Ghosts. You'll be hearing some music later on, and you should totally buy my album. Anyway, the reason we are doing this tonight is because earlier this week, Cal Poly invited Milo Yiannopoulos to campus. Not only did they invite Milo Yiannopoulos to campus, they dropped $60 grand on security and a fucking fence.
Ooh. Not a well-constructed fence either.
Yeah, just a constructed fence.
I know the protesters had to pick it back up.
Yeah. As Julian said, the protesters were so polite that on 3 occasions when the fence fell, they picked it back up. Yet, cops in riot gear stood there playing G.I. Joe with batons and paintball guns or whatever the fuck they had, and looked real badass while cops with bikes and tiny helmets stood behind the protesters with no fence between them.
Bring that pornstache.
And we're looking for Officer Pornstache. If anyone knows who Officer Pornstache is,
he's a bike cop. I see him as a bike
cop. There's another one. Yeah, there's 2 of them. There's 3 of them.
I think
he's head of the bike cops because he went from bike cop to riot gear. Maybe he was promoted during the event. Sergeant Pornstache. One day he will be Commander Pornstache. Or if things continue to go the way they
President Pornstache.
So, college Republicans invited Milo Yiannopoulos to speak. They dropped almost $60 grand on security for him of state and student funds. Yet, a few weeks before, when the Muslim students wanted to have an event, they made that club pay $4,000 for security that they didn't need. So, we're here to say that if Cal Poly can do that and claim that they're letting him come and spew his bullshit in the name of free speech, that we can come and spew our bullshit in the name of free speech too. The only difference between what he does and what we do is we present nothing here as fact. So, we're going to show some movies. We're going to be showing, as we said, Kenneth Anger's Invocation of My Demon Brother, which is one of the early satanic films. It's basically an art film about the demise of 1940s, 1950s conservatism, and also the demise of 1960s excess. And then after that, we're going to show ReGOREgitated Sacrifice, which we're going to take a segment to talk to you guys about before we show it, because it's kind of fucked up.
And to give a brief warning.
Yeah.
Invocation of My Demon Brother is only about 10-15 minutes long. It is a short film. ReGOREgitated Sacrifice full length, so
about an hour.
Yeah.
But it feels like full length.
It feels like a lifetime to endure.
So thank you for coming out. Also, after the show, we're going to have a sort of open panel Q&A / tell us what you thought of the movies and the event and everything. We are friends with the director of ReGOREgitated Sacrifice, if anyone can actually be friends with him. And
he gave us permission.
He gave us permission to do this. He's very interested to see what people say, and we would like to put that on camera as well, so that we can send it to him because he's ruthless. So thank you for coming out. Give yourself a hand for coming out.
Dom and JD showed Kenneth Anger's The Invocation of My Demon Brother and Lucifer Valentine's ReGOREgitated Sacrifice. We will now join the discussion on Lucifer Valentine's ReGOREgitated Sacrifice in progress.
Yeah, it's and you'll make good life decisions.
What was that movie about again?
They created this character of Angela Aberdeen to sort of represent the overarching concept of what she thought was her and the things that she had been through, and then they created different incarnations of her, whereas Angela was going through this catharsis, which they've sort of represented as a death and rebirth, with Angela taking too much lithium and drowning herself in the bathtub, with her being pregnant with the new version of her being grown inside of her. The two twins representing the hidden ego being split as she was dying, and they sort of served as protectors of her as these various personality archetypes that manifested through her trauma were brought to the forefront. The reason they use different actors or actresses as opposed to just killing a Meryl Bay over and over again was sort of talked about, where she says that wasn't me in that scene. She keeps insisting it's not me, it's not me. It's a sense of depersonalization, where when she goes through these things, she feels it's not her. She has to impose someone else into that. So the images that you see on the screen are the Black Angels of Hell killing these archetypes, and also seeing interpretations of things that she thought she could have been, where you see like the beauty queen being killed superimposed with images of her doing porn and having money stuffed down her mouth, where she felt like this aspiration that she had was being murdered by these things that she was doing in her life. Or with the horror archetype, doing the I'm selling my soul to Satan, I am going to model myself after the images of actresses and models, sort of having those things drone into her throughout her entire life, where she was led to feel like her only worth was how she looked and what she could do with her body. But as these personality archetypes were killed off and she gave birth to the new version of herself, she is able to reclaim her sexuality, which is what happens at the end. At first she's fighting it, and she's trying to go back to all of the old methods of I'm going to strip for you, tell me what you need to do, I'm going to be submissive, I'm going to be subservient. But then there's a point where she breaks from that, and you can kind of see it in her eyes, where she's like, no, fuck this is mine. And that's where Cephalus starts ejaculating blood all over her. That's her killing the thing that was holding her down ultimately. Hank Skinny, the actor who was basically the only male that you saw on screen, was representative of the bad male archetypes, the male predators that she had to deal with. Were it the person who abducted her? Was it her father molesting her? Was it, these porn producers who were making her all of these promises and then doing awful things to her on camera and not making good on those promises? And you can see in the imagery with him, especially with him wearing the octopus on his head, it seems like a silly scene that he's got an octopus on his head and he's puking into a severed skull and all that. But if you look at the occult significance of it, the octopus is symbolic of adaptability and the ability to look at a situation and sort of maneuver your way through it. And he tried to take that from her, and he did take that from her by taking the octopus off the severed skull and wearing it. And he sat there in this ridiculous clown makeup like a king in a crown, wearing her adaptability, but still vomiting out his own insecurities and his own trauma and his own issues, where he was trying to empower himself and was unable to, and eventually looked like a sad, pathetic, tired clown with an octopus on his head.
Did anyone get that it was the same girl, even though it was different people? Even when she said, my name is, you picked up on that? Yeah, like, it's kind of hard. Believe it or not, I've actually watched, this is like the third time I've endured this,
for me, it took me a long while to actually realize that, but I could tell the, similarities.
Yeah, even though it's different people playing the same girl,
the same language.
When she starts saying it, they start saying similar things about, their story and their abduction and everything like that, and that's what kind of ties it together. And then
one of the other motifs that he uses in there is her repeatedly making this cell phone call to someone asking for help, saying, I love you, I'll be okay, but nobody speaks on the other end. And she's continually reaching out to help, and then just before that final scene, they go to Kurt Cobain's house and show the wall where all of these strangers wrote to Kurt Cobain. And it's sort of their way of saying, someone you know reaches out for help, and you ignore them, and they pour their heart and soul out into you, and you maybe even treat them like shit, yet you can go and worship this celebrity that you don't even know like they're a god, and feel so much when they die, when this person that is dying in front of you, you feel nothing.
hard.
The multiple personality thing is interesting because that seems to me as one of those weird things that came out of the whole satanic panic situation and supposed ritual abuse. So I think that's interesting.
That movie Split is a rip-off of this. They stole the concept of this movie and then they made it.
Yeah, it's Split. It's this without.
No spiders though.
It is great, and Lucifer Valentine knows what he's doing. When he does things like this, he has a deep interest in the occult, and he has a deep interest in what people perceive the occult to be versus what it actually is. And so, if you notice that, odds are he was doing it on purpose.
Any other questions about the movie?
And if you have negative things to say about it, please, like say, we want to know.
This was horrible or something, then say that. But a lot of people, it's like, it's more of like an endurance. Like, everyone wants to stay to the end to like see what's going to happen or can I make it through this horrible experience of watching all these images and
what the hell is this guy going to do next?
Yeah, and then at the end you get the money shot of the movie. No pun intended.
Well, one of my friends who left early left for an unrelated thing.
Yeah, that's a movie. Yeah, I think everyone.
We're not judging it.
Yeah. Well, I just texted her just to make sure that everything was okay, and I think a very interesting thing that she said about the movie was that it was a little bit triggering, but in a kind of respectful way, where she can reflect on it and not be upset about it.
Yeah,
so it's a unique experience that she hasn't dealt with before.
That's something that he very much wanted to do. Yeah. Amira LeVay has been. They took Amira. I don't know what her real name is, but we just know her as Amira LeVay. They took her experiences and of course ramped them up from 10 to 15. But that's what they were trying to do with her. And if you watch the sequel to this movie, which is called Slow Torture Fugue Chamber, it features her in a completely non-vomiting role because it's about her now having ownership of who she is and those last vestiges of what remains. Because there is unfinished business in this movie. The last vestiges of what remain are what is ultimately killed off so that she can walk away from the series as a whole, non-divided individual.
You can tell it was made by an abuse victim. You can tell that there was that input put in there.
Did everyone get the fact that they weren't glorifying this kind of stuff?
Yeah, what I wouldn't say I would say appreciated was that like they had these like sexual images that were like completely contrasted with these really like stark, like really dark things, which is like that's how I could see it being like an abuse film.
Yeah, and it's not like there's nothing sexual about this movie.
Yeah,
I mean, it has all the nudity and all that stuff like that.
It's formatted like a porno movie, up to the point of the money shot at the end. But where this stands apart, because there is gore porn out there, and we would not show that to an audience because it's ridiculous and there's no point to it. But another thing that he did that I thought was very important was he takes these images of violence, but then contrasts them with images of Amira as a child, and those were actually home video footage of her as a child, or with her singing that song, and I think that song is beautiful. Like even with everything going on, to remind you, with all of this stuff going on, this isn't just a generic horror movie victim. This is a human being. This is a human being who was a child. This is a human being who grew up, who has actual emotions. And even though she has been through this trauma, she still, she wants to be known. She says that in the movie, but she still feels it.
And she's still looking for someone to come save her, but no one's coming to hold on.
Well, it's very graphic and hard to watch. It's important. I had to keep reminding myself that this is their outlet for all that pain.
I kind of don't understand part of the tarantula still that was supposed to represent.
She talked about being taken from the orphanage and alluded to being molested by the person who took her. And she said, it felt like big drops of water welling up inside of me, where this was the final straw of the trauma that sort of broke her and pushed her into the full-on downward spiral. And by putting the tarantula, which by the way, it wasn't actually a tarantula when it was going into the fake vagina. There's a super interesting documentary about the special effects in this movie if you buy it.
The special effects are pretty good, right? Like at that point, it's like, wow, is that real? Like the eyes and stuff? I mean, it's better than a lot of mainstream movies that you see. No CGI, all practical, just
the tarantula is sort of representative of that final straw of that trauma just going into her and being locked up inside of her with the the sewing up afterwards, which was a horrible image. To me, the most disturbing part of the movie.
Yeah, that was kind of like the breaking point. I was like, I'm either going to leave or I'm staying.
Personally, for me, the scene that I like least in the movie, and I'm not saying it's because it was poorly made. It's the one that like really like tears me up. Is the whole mother and stepdaughter scene.
Yeah.
And it's like every time I watch it, I'm like, did he go too far? Did he go too far? But he didn't, because what he was trying to show was that by the stepmother enabling the father to molest the daughter, she was teaching her to be this individual that she became, and also at the same time puking out her own trauma and her own insecurities onto her. Part of it that bothers me is like, I don't know, it bothers me to see black women get beaten up. I don't know. There's something about that, just the way society is as a whole and the way they treat it. And I don't know if her stepmother was actually a black woman or not, or where that came from. But I really hated that scene until I watched the making of documentary and saw him talking with the actress and seeing her sort of get into the part and get into what happened, and she came to understand what happened.
Yeah, that's another thing too. When you watch this, you might question whether is he actually going and paying these people, not telling them kind of like what the story is. You know, are these really like prostitutes on the street that they're doing this horrible things to? But it's actually
Most of the people in this movie are from the Toronto BDSM scene, circa 2005, 2006.
That's good to know.
So it's not really like.
Yeah, I feel like it was Harmony Korean crackhead casting couch.
These are actual people. He interviews each of them on the making of featurette, so that he interviews them before and after. And some people during the making of this actually achieved their own catharsis for things that were going on in their lives. And it's very interesting to see them before, like, you know, we're making a movie, and afterwards being like, oh shit, I felt something.
Yeah, and you guys like feel differently after watching it, like kind of like almost I feel kind of uneasy when the first time I saw it, but also like thinking about it, like wow, it's like to have a movie like give you so much like an experience of like emotion and stuff like that. It's not just like watching Transformers 7 or something. You know what I mean? It's actually like has a message, and it kind of like hits home and makes you kind of think about stuff.
Yeah, I mean, like when you actually see something that's supposed to like reach to you, it's not supposed to be comfortable.
Yeah.
It's supposed to touch something in you that is really not something that you're usually used to feeling touched.
Kind of like when you watch a really good disturbing documentary, and you know it's real, and it gives you that feeling. You know, it kind of gives me that feeling when I watch this.
This is a movie that will stick with you, and you'll probably think about it every once in a while for the next couple of days. I know we did. You know, any of these movies, the first time you see them, you're like, what the fuck? And then you start to think about it, and you start to dissect it a little bit, and then maybe you'll even go back and watch it again. And once you get past the initial revulsion, you kind of see the layer underneath. And that's a big thing that Lucifer Valentine does with all of his movies, even outside of his vomit gore movies, as he calls them, is he tries to inspire revulsion initially, and then get you to look past that revulsion to the next layer underneath. Because that's kind of what happens in the world, you know, and that's what happens in your life. If something horrible happens to you, you can dwell on how horrible it is, or you can dig deeper past it and see what's going on underneath. And that's really the only way that you can work out that trauma and sort of push up and out through it.
Any other questions? Anybody?
The only scene that I thought was sort of inept symbolically was the almost literal conflation of money with violence when we've got the knife and the cash being stuffed into her throat. I just kept thinking, thank God Mr. Banky's here to save us. Like with this sort of very heavy-handed symbolism, like money is violence. I don't know, do you have a different interpretation of that scene?
I think you nailed it right on the head, and you know, maybe it wasn't one of his more subtle moments.
But also it's like to show her journey from like how she was promised that, oh, they're going to take just these still pictures, that's it, and then it escalated, it got worse and worse to where she's getting abused and all this stuff is happening, and the money is kind of like what started her on that, and then you see like drug addiction and stuff like that too. So
I forgot her first name, but her last name is Styles, the actress who plays the teen porn star who talks about from the beginning. He does something kind of interesting where she's like, well, I'm only going to be in the business for a year, I'm going to make this money and get out, and then it cuts away and she's got like kind of like look like. Even she doesn't particularly believe that. And there's a significant use of the motif of like lure them in with honey and then kill them. With the black angels of hell seducing the personalities before they destroy them. Was anyone particularly disturbed by the incest that was implied that happened in there?
Yeah, which is why my problem with the Barbie twins always is. It's just too weird. I had a sister, we're 16 months apart, and we got confused as twins, and I can't imagine even doing anything sexual with the same woman member. So to see other people do it is like really, I just can't.
It's very disturbing. Yeah.
It's very disturbing. I don't know how anyone can get turned on by that. It's very strange.
What he was trying to symbolize with that was, that the personality was divided in the beginning, and they kept trying to come together, and they would come together, they would try to use sexuality to force themselves to come together. They would try to use violence to force themselves to come together, and they were continually just split apart, because they couldn't get past the walls that were going on. And I think it's also important to note that he never portrayed them naked.
Sure.
There was always a barrier on them, and even when they were trying to strip off that barrier, whether they were doing it playfully or whether they were doing it aggressively, that barrier was still there. And as she had to move on to whatever the new thing was, they weren't able to do that, and that's the unfinished business. It is weird to see twin sisters
acting like they're gonna kiss.
You don't ever see brothers doing that. and that kind of actually brings another thing I was thinking about the whole time is, if you consider the statistics, 1 in 6 women is sexually assaulted in some way or another.
Absolutely.
So then watching them, as graphic as it was in this film, it's still kind of sadly cliche. And I was trying to think, what disturbing films are there out there that feature male rape?
There
I
is
could only
one
come
of them,
to
right?
2.
One of the
Deliverance and
Okay, that's 3. Okay, so I was thinking American Me and Prince of Tides.
American History X.
American History X.
One of the ones in the series has that though, right? Or is it August Underground?
That's always Underground. Yeah, that's a good question, and I think that's something that should very much be explored.
Yeah. Any other questions about this?
Another movie that he made that I would like to recommend that's outside of this series is called Black Metal Veins, and it's a semi-documentary, but there are some scenes that are reenacted or that represent things that have happened to people before. That, like, if you actually got them on camera, then they were real, you go to jail for it. But what it's about is about the life of junkies, and he portrays it very realistically, just kind of lives with these junkies for 6 months and films them doing what they do, and he builds it up, and you feel this sense of repulsion and this sense of disgust, and then in the last quarter of the movie, he focuses on their family and their parents, and he reminds you that these people are human beings.
What's it called?
Black Metal Veins.
Yeah, it's a really good documentary.
And that's something that he wants to do with all of his movies, I think, personally, is show that all of these people aren't just faceless victims. They're not just meat puppets made to be tortured. They are representations of actual human beings.
There's also a shorter film that he has called The Perfect Child of Satan that is about a girl who meets someone over the internet, right? Isn't that what it is? And then it escalates from there, like dangers of trust and that kind of stuff with that one. And that one's pretty crazy too. Not so much with the visual, disgusting aspect of this, but it's
pretty tame comparatively.
Yeah, comparatively. It's still disturbing, but that's a good one too.
Is he the same guy that's on Jerry Springer in the 90s doing throw-up art?
No, I don't know about that.
I was trying to figure out, I was like, did he cut his hair?
Well, there's a theory about Pink Skinny being Lucifer Valentine, maybe, but it's not
true.
Yeah, it's not true.
Hank Skinny is a vomit superhero.
Okay.
That's what he is.
Yeah, he had to drink a bunch of stuff to do that.
Yeah, that's what he did. He was like drinking paint, and he had a girl with him. I thought it was the same girl in this movie. I don't know.
It could possibly.
Yeah. All right.
I'm sure. I don't know. I've never done any studies on it. I don't know how widespread imidophiles are in society, and if it's a major sexual subculture in the world. I just don't know about that. But the uninformed side of me thinks that they probably run small packs. Nobody really knows.
They hang out super long.
Yeah.
questions about this? This has been like ultra serious discussion, ultra serious movie, but if you guys give a chance to our podcast, postmortemshow.com, we're on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, we even have a YouTube link, and there's a lot more fun involved, a lot more joking and laughing as opposed to this right here. So.
We got to be serious sometimes because serious times happen.
Yeah.
And I think what happened earlier this week was a serious time, it was a wake-up call. And I need to repeat this because it's very important, but if you or someone you know has been a victim of sexual violence, do not be silent about it. Contact people if you need to contact them. Work with Rise if that's what you need to do. Call us, we'll go fucking kick someone's ass. Use a dead man. I'm just telling you.
We're here in the Yeah, and this part of this discussion and part like the intro and stuff like that will be on our episode that we're gonna have on Wednesday, and we're gonna do the top 5 schools in horror, so that's gonna be fun. So if you guys are interested, subscribe and tell your friends.
And we're gonna eat a muffin. He was gonna eat a muffin.
I was gonna eat the muffin during the movie just and sit in the front and everything. I kind of forgot about it. just to kind of with the food too, just see if anyone is really gonna lose it. Just the smell of food and the eating.
I ate the entire time.
I saw it.
We're like about to In-N-Out right now.
So I want to thank. Oh, yeah.
Are you guys planning on doing any more of these screenings anytime soon?
Yeah, we're gonna like to. We're gonna probably show some less fucked up movies.
Yeah, this is not gonna be the every. You guys have to worry next time. Maybe it'll be a lot more fun.
But we will always warn. We will always warn. We believe in fair warning, fairly given, and we believe in giving people an opportunity to leave without judgment if something is too fucked up for them.
And we've done another live show in Santa Maria at a comic book store there before, and we will be doing more live shows on the Central Coast. But you guys can keep up with us if you follow the podcast or our website. We have a Facebook too. Post more
all the stuff on the leaflets. Yeah. We're going to be doing more performance art with Cloak Club Society. We're going to be ramping that up this summer a little bit more. There's going to be a video component and a music component that goes with it. This was just sort of the first little bit of what it was, even though it's totally not us. I want to thank all of you for being open-minded. I want to thank all of you for not hitting us. And if you want to contact us directly, you can reach us through the Postmortem Facebook page. We respond very quickly. If you want to talk to one of us in particular, just address it to whoever you want.
And then postmortemshow@gmail.com. So if you guys want to check out past episodes of our show, they're a lot funnier, especially the last one we had.
We did mashups of dream mashups of serious non-horror movies with horror movies. So like,
I had Encino Man combined with The Woman, which is a cannibal movie, so it's kind of like a caveman, and that kind of thing. So we get creative with it.
Predator.
And we're going to be doing a lot more screenings like this because we're getting a lot of people sending us stuff now from doing the first one. And with permission to use their movies and stuff, so we can watch some good stuff.
We do birthday parties and bar mitzvahs. You get discounted rate if there's a bounce house.
Thank you guys for coming. We appreciate it.
As if you like Craft once said,
if it smells like fish,
throw the fucker back.
Throw the fucker back. Thank you guys.